All right, I'm Jason C. Warren, and I'm doing my book review on Enhancing the Art and Science of Teaching with Technology Classroom Strategies by Sunny Magana and Robert J. Marzano. All right, so as I just stated, the title is Enhancing the Art and Science of Teaching with Technology Classroom Strategies. Obviously, this class is dealing with teaching us how to use technology, so that's what the book was about. Um, However, note that the title says classroom strategies and it has a variety of different ways to implement technology, not just activities, but a large variety of ways to address technology use. And I'll go into that more. There's two authors, Sunny Magana, which I have a little link here. He's got his own website and his whole program that he studies the use of technology implementation. So he's got a whole website you could look up if you're curious. What is going on? Okay, then you've got Robert Marzano, which I can't click on the link now for some reason. Wow, technology implementation and use, right here. Um, he also has his own website and I don't know what you call it, facility department. He's got a research facility in Denver. So Marzano is really, really famous. He's written over 50 books. I've read several of his books for other education classes that I've taken as well. So he's got lots of good ideas, lots of good opinions that I'm very much in agreement with. So if you want to know more about him, you can Google him and he'll pop up. Okay. Main theme of the book was it has over 100 usable strategies to implement technology into your lessons. And more importantly, it has the evidence to back each one of them up. Has detailed analysis of classroom structures, engagement, relationships, grading, expectations, etc. The thesis is a bit hard to pin down because it's such a comprehensive guide that covers so many different topics regarding classroom instruction that there's not really one thing to say about technology implementation. All right, this book can be a bit dry. The first 30 pages are filled with just research studies, which, if you're not super into research, can be difficult to get through. Um, they have charts and graphs and tables and visual aids that that help you kind of digest the research and information they're throwing at you. But nonetheless, it's still a bit difficult to get through. So this book isn't necessarily one that you're going to want to read cover to cover. It's something that you sort of go back to and address as you need. You can go through the table of contents and kind of look at specific chunks that you want to address. The variety of different strategies that they discuss include assessment, classroom rules and procedures, implementation, engagement, how to build relationships with the students, effective communication. So there's quite a bit there. It's not just a list of activities. There's a lot that it deals with. Okay, as I said before, it's a comprehensive guide to implementing technology in the classroom instruction. So they have one such idea is like using tablets for your students to submit responses to like discussion questions. So instead of sort of putting some of the students on the spot, you always have the same 3 or 4 students raising their hand wanting to discuss, and plenty of other students have ideas, but they're too shy maybe to get put on the spot in front of the entire class. So by using tablets or even mobile devices, they could submit their responses or their ideas, and then you could anonymously read them off of the board, or instead of putting that student on the spotlight, um, you could bring up their ideas without causing them to feel any anxiety. As I said before, the beginning of the book is a bit research heavy. But if that's what you're looking for, then there's lots of good studies there that are cited to back up sort of what they want to say as far as like how essential technology is in the classroom now, in the modern classroom. Um, but as I said, once you get through that research, they have different sections that deal with rules and procedures, assessment, scaffolding, communication. Um, my big thing is this book is better as like a workbook or a reference guide to kind of go back to every now and then when you're looking for specific tips or strategies. Before the school year begins, if you want to kind of retool your lesson plans and really do more than just play an occasional video or music clip, you really want to get these kids working with technology and interacting with it, then this is that would be the best time to do it, is before you start the school year. Okay. In conclusion, this book is worth having on your shelf. Um, as I said before, it's not something that you would really like read through one and done and then just like take back to the bookstore. It's definitely something you want to keep on your shelf to refer to. If you, I think the most effective thing about it is that it covers many, many different potential problems or issues that I've heard veteran teachers express about technology implementation. So things such as like parents or administrators being skeptical about you using technology, there's lots of research to back up all of their ideas about implementing technology. So you could sort of refer back to, let's say you get into a parent-teacher conference and they're, against the idea of their student using their cell phone in your class. You could potentially refer back to this book and cite some of the research and studies that have been done to show that mobile devices can be an effective use in the classroom. A lot of teachers are concerned about improper use of technology. So the book does a good job of going over some of the rules and procedures that you should set up beforehand. You definitely should not just decide halfway through the year to start all of a sudden letting your kids all use their cell phones. It's not a good idea, and the book does a good job of sort of help walking you through and scaffolding you through the steps of building a climate and a environment in your classroom that is conducive to using technology. It also talks about like potential consequences of improper use of technology. There are some concerns that kids just, no matter how much you try to implement technology, they just don't care. They're uninterested. So there are engagement strategies definitely in there, sort of creative ideas for you to use different types of technology to get the kids hooked. Some people say that, sure, they started using technology, but they can't tell whether it's made any positive impact on their students. So there are assessment strategies in the book as well, ways to sort of not only summative but formative as well, to sort of gauge throughout the year how effective your technology implementation is, and how to basically go back and retool it and make sure that you're maximizing the effectiveness. And then, as I said before, it has a bunch of activities, creative ideas on how to implement technology in the classroom. Like I mentioned before, the idea of, even though it seems a bit redundant, that rather than just having your kids raise their hands to respond, you have them like all typing in. Yeah, it may take longer. However, as I mentioned before, the idea that all students now are participating instead of only having time to refer to the one or two kids who raise their hand. Now every student is expected to respond to the discussion question, and whether you actually end up having time to share out all of their responses or not, you still now have access to all of their responses. So if you wanted to go back after class and sort of just give a credit, no credit sort of participation grade for all the students who participated, that would be very easy to do. As well as I said before, it's a really good way to relieve some of the stress and anxiety that more introverted students feel with being forced to participate in class. So this is a way to get them to still participate, but sort of remove some of the anxiety that goes along with having to be have the spotlight on you in front of the rest of the class. So overall, as I said before, definitely a book worth having. And any of other Marzano's other books are, like I said, I've read several of them, and they've always got excellent ideas to how to enhance your instruction. So that's it.